digital marketing has changed a lot. We try to use it as we're not using it as a vessel to show anyone anything differently than what they would see if they came into our office. But it's important that we reach people so that people know what our office is before they come in. That's the main difference.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Den, and today I have Dr. Matthew Etter from Hamilton Dental Associates. They're out of the Princeton area, New Jersey. They have over 20 different chairs. They have 6 different specialists that are partners, which I think is amazing to me. When I got to meet Dr. Etter, and we had a conversation about 2.5 years ago, they really weren't doing much digital marketing. They wanted to grow things. He's a young, successful dentist. And I thought it'd be great to have you on the Den, just to talk about your experiences, where you're going, what you're doing, how you've grown, and obviously how COVID hit you. And why don't you tell me about who you are real fast?
My name is Dr. Matthew Etter. I'm an orthodontist and owner at Hamilton Dental Associates in Hamilton, New Jersey.
How's business going over at Hamilton Dental?
Yeah, it's getting back on track. It's going well. It's going really well. It's people are happy to be back to the office, and both the people who work and as well as our patients. It's been a unique time since we've had to shut down for a little bit, but ever since we've come back, people have wanted to hit the ground running.
So I got to know you over the last few years, and you're very nice. You're not the typical dentist. I mean, you're a very nice person, just genuinely. Actually, your whole team is very nice, but you're exceptional. I looked at you almost like the leader, and you're just a nice person. You carry yourself the way. You know, what are the obstacles you guys have faced buying a company that's been around for 50 years? And 6 of you pulled together and said, let's buy it from the original owner. Can you talk to me about that?
So basically, the partners have come in and they've purchased shares of basically the practice, and they've been able to hand the baton to other partners that come in at the same time, and then some partners retire and those other partners remain. So at no given point is there really a shift in mission statement. We have ample time before a partner comes aboard to sort of vet them out to make sure that they are going to be able to take the reins of the company, the office, and going to be able to make sure that they're going to be able to implement the same mission statement. Everybody has to be on the same page, otherwise it does not work. So from that, we're able to bring on new partners as other partners retire. So we have 2 partners who are in the 50-year-old, that age group, 2 partners in the 40s, and then 2 partners actually in the 30s. So they've kind of got all those age groups.
And they're more like specialists, though, right? You won't bring a partner in with the same specialist normally, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So can you kind of explain that? Because I thought that was pretty cool, too.
That is one of the things that sets us apart. All of our care is implemented by specialists. So as an adult, your routine cleaning will be done by an adult dentist, someone who only works with adults, as well as the cosmetics. So your cosmetic needs will be taken care of by someone who only does cosmetic adult dentistry. Whereas if your children are coming in, they have very different needs. Smaller teeth, the teeth are different. They will be seen by a pediatric dentist. If you need braces, they'll be seen by an orthodontist. And these are specialists that went to specialty training. This is not someone who just took a weekend course. These are specialists with specialty training. It's definitely one of the things that sets us apart.
So when I met you, I was brought in by a mutual person. I think someone brought us in. I forgot how I found you. It might have been Karen or Blair. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's right, yeah.
So I got to tell this story, right? So I go over to Hamilton Dental. It was snowing out. I think my wife was pregnant still at the time, or I just had a baby. I forget what happened. And, sometimes dentists, this doctors can be. So I walk into a room, and there's 6, 7 people in this room waiting for me.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh, we're here to meet you. I'm like, okay. And at that time, and it was a great meeting. I mean, you guys were all super nice people.
Thank you, yeah.
But not the typical way that you walk into a dental office of your size, right? You have 20 plus people working at your staff, 20 plus chairs. I think you have 40 some staff members, right?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
So, pretty big dental practice.
Yeah, it is.
To have every single person as a partner in a room at the same time showed me how important your marketing was. I think you guys that was like your first flat year or 2 years in a row where you guys weren't growing in the areas you wanted to grow.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And none of you really knew digital marketing at that time that well, and you were doing a lot of traditional, correct?
We were doing a lot of traditional. We had done some digital marketing, but we needed more of a guiding light. Yeah, for sure. North Star.
And I remember your one partner was kind of getting upset in the meeting when I was just showing him the data. I was like, and you actually had to step in and say, he's just showing you it's your stuff.
Yeah.
How has it changed since that, though? You guys still doing a lot of traditional? How's the impact of digital marketing been on your practice?
Digital marketing has changed a lot. We try to use it as we're not using it as a vessel to show anyone anything differently than what they would see if they came into our office. But it's important that we reach people so that people know what our office is before they come in. That's the main difference.
That's called storytelling, everybody. So you know, doctor.
That's the main thing. You mentioned that we were nice people. We appreciate that, but that's where it starts, right? Dentistry is a personal business. Of course, you're going in there opening your mouth. What I mean by that is it's not enough that you like the product. It's not enough that you like the veneer. You like your braces, your smile after you did the braces. You have to like the person who's giving it to you.
Oh, I agree with that.
And if you don't, it's not going to work. So digital marketing has to be an extension of that. It has to be a microphone that you can show people that. And that is how we've been able to, that's a different view that we've taken since joining really One SEO. And you guys have given us the tools to be able to do it. But that's really where we're looking to grow more and more.
The consensus in that room was at the time, especially a few of your partners didn't believe digital marketing would get you more leads than traditional.
Yeah, I think maybe we kind of knew in the back of our brains that was something that we needed to turn more attention to, but we weren't really sure. Again, we needed more of that North Star guiding light. We weren't really sure to what extent that dynamic should take. What percentage should go towards digital marketing? Should be 20%, 50%, 75%? Where could we turn our attention to? And I think that we do have someone who helps us with, as we said, Blair.
Nice guy.
Blair Johnson, who's great, and he's been our guiding light in terms of figuring out the traditional marketing side. But he's also been very, very upcoming about, this is something that you need to do digital, and this part needs to be taken care of. And these guys are the guys that do it for you. Let me introduce you to them. So it was very interesting. We never heard anyone like that. Our previous firm that we were with was just, we're going to do everything in-house and just do it this way. And we felt we were lost in the weeds a little bit. So to gain the transparency that you were showing us that day, and also since we've been with you guys, but also to gain the guidance, those are two major forces that have helped us sort of understand it a lot better.
How is the lead generation for you as a dental practice compared now to then?
Yeah, it's been strong. We use digital marketing and also traditional marketing. Yes, we want to gain leads. Of course, leads would be patients to us. So yes, of course we want patients.
I call them leads. I'm sorry.
Right,
Patients,
it's okay.
Yeah.
We want patients to come into our office, and we know as soon as they come into our office that they are going to enjoy the way our office functions, because like I said, we work like a family, and we want our patients to feel that as a part of our family. They're not on the outside, they're part of our family, and that's important. So gaining a patient to us means the most important thing in the world, because we know as soon as they come, they're going to enjoy staying there, and if they're an adult, they're going to bring their kids, and if they bring their kids at first, then they're going to turn around and say, you guys do adult dentistry, and they're going to want to stay, because having everything under one roof, it could not be more convenient.
So I guess, are you spending the same amount in traditional as you were before you met me, or have you cut that back and put more into digital?
Well, COVID kind of put an end to that for sure.
Yeah.
We're spending a little bit less on traditional right now. We're doing a little less street festivals because there are none. I'd say we probably are we shifted definitely more money towards the digital marketing side, but I think we're being smarter with the dollar spent. I think it's less that we're spending less money, although I just think we're being more efficient with it. And because there's transparency, more transparency about what we're spending money on with your team, and then also with Blair, because of that, we're able to push the money in the right direction and push the buttons that we want to push. Again, using that megaphone in a proper way to sort of direct it towards the right people.
Out of all the 6 sectors you have, I think you have 6 different sectors, right? You have children, you have adult, you have maintenance, you have cosmetic, correct?
Kids, orthodontics, adults, which has, with their cosmetics, but we also have oral surgery, so implants. Right?
And you actually do it there, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything in-house, no question. And then, periodontist, which is your gum specialist, endodontics, which is your root canals. And, we also have a tremendous staff. We couldn't do any of this stuff without our staff. And part of the reason why the staff is so valuable is because we also have an in-house insurance department that deals with your insurance for you. So you come into our office, you don't have to pick up the phone and say, hey, I just went to the dental office. What are my benefits? What am I looking at?
They do it for you.
They do it for you.
It's a great
submit
move.
it for you, take care of it for you. If there's a discrepancy, they will get on the phone with the insurance. They will call and spend the time on the phone to say, this is the problem.
when my question is, out of all your departments, where did you see One SEO help you the most? Would you say?
Well, I'd say we wanted to shift things more towards the pediatric side of things. So that part I think is filled in a little bit better now than it was before, and that's what more could we ask for? And we're also looking at it as a way to cement our relationship with our current patients. I think it's something close to 33%, 1 out of 3 people change dentists every year. This year, a lot of cards are being shuffled because a lot of people, maybe it was small dentists who maybe couldn't either procure the PPE that they had to procure.
Absolutely.
Maybe they couldn't open up quite as quickly, and maybe people are looking to establish the routine care again. We were fortunate; we were able to gather quite a bit of it, and we donated a ton of it at first away because we wanted to, and we recognized that our contemporaries over in the medical field needed it. So we had to, in the sense that we felt obligated to. We wanted to. Of course,
everybody thanks you guys for that too.
Yeah. So, but once we kind of understood that, once everybody got kind of a handle on things and everybody understood, dentistry is absolutely an essential part of the medical field, and dentistry in of itself, the routine care, the emergency care, the taking care of what you know is outstanding. Once we had that, we knew we had to procure a lot of PPE, which we did, and we were able to open up quite nicely. So
let's talk about two things, right? The PPE, the pandemic, it hits, right? I mean, we're going to jump into the growth of your pediatrics and all that stuff, which is fine. And we're going to talk about your ideology there, which is a lot different than most people, which I can appreciate. But pandemic hits. It's March 17th. Right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
that's right. Everybody remembers the day. That's exactly right.
I remember the day.
Forget that day.
So you're shut down pretty much.
100%. Oh, well, aside from the occasional emergency, I would say. But we're talking about emergency. We're talking about it has to be really far on that scale. You are in severe pain. This has to be taken care of today. Otherwise, you're going to be in the emergency room, etc. So.
Did you think? The 2 weeks, right? Then they got moved again. Then they got moved again. Yeah. I mean, now we're 8 months later almost.
I think originally we were. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think you're asking, did I think it would carry on that long? Is that what you're asking? Yeah. Originally we thought maybe it would be 3 or 4 weeks, and then we quickly realized it was going to be longer. And we ended up being shut down for 9 weeks. The first week back, we ended
completely shut down, pretty much.
Completely shut down for 9 weeks. We had a very skeleton crew in there to answer some phones for emergencies. Fortunately, in New Jersey, dentists were still able to see emergency care. In other states, that wasn't the case. Correct. But they realized very quickly that those patients were going to the emergency room and then overloading the emergency rooms even more. And then I think at that point, it clicked in for everybody. Oh, yeah, by the way, dentistry is kind of essential. You need to take care of
one of the worst pains you could have.
Yeah, it's brutal. So we were completely shut down for 9 weeks. And then we slowly opened back up over the course of the next week or two after that to some services. And then within I would say it took us about 4 weeks to really open up all of our services. We still have reduced the amount of people coming into the office, so we're not really 100% back at capacity because of social distancing and safety concerns that we take to heart. But we're getting there. And people feel safe.
Did you ever think there was a time where you and your partners weren't going to make it through this?
Did I ever think that there was going to be a time that we wouldn't make it through this? Yeah, I thought that was a possibility. We all thought, what's this going to turn into? And it could cut so many different ways. And what's going to happen to our family? What's going to happen to our families? Of course, we're at home, we're staring at each other, we can see them right in front of us. But what's going to happen to our work family? Is when you have a bunch of employees, not only are they your family, but they sign their paychecks. That means they take it home to their family.
Of course.
And that's stressful. But we've been around through a lot. Dentistry has been around through a lot of infectious disease issues, concerns. We've always been on the forefront of infectious disease protocols. The AIDS epidemic. was a huge turning point for dentistry. I'm not so sure all dentists even wore gloves prior to that. So there's a lot of turning points in that happen in terms of infectious disease that has had a turning point for the rest of the globe. Also hits dentistry, but because we're in people's mouths, we've always been the forefront of it.
Today, it's Halloween week. Is your staff scared going in every day? Are you scared, or are you kind of like, this is what it is at this point?
We are not. This is what it is at this point. There is nothing business as usual about what we've done.
Okay.
The first thing that we did before coming back was we felt it was very important to establish a circle of safety around ourselves and our staff. And that means if you're a patient, you come into our office, you are going to feel inside of that circle of safety. That was the most important thing. And from that, all the protocols we put in place, the barriers that we put in place, the outside check-in or the frontline check-in, the temperature checks, the constant hand sanitizer, the double barriers at times, PPE, with the N95 protocols, and as well as the laundered gowns, disposable gowns, everything. From that was born a comfort level for everyone. We had a lot of people scared to come back to work, but people have to come back to work because they got to work.
Oh, no doubt.
And they come back to work, and they could see within an hour, you could see how much time and effort and how much heavy lifting went into it. And from that, they could see how serious we took it, us partners. And from there, they let the patients know how serious we take it. And if you check our reviews out across the board, it's going to be something. It's going to be that they're.
Well, I guess I'll ask the question now. We know a lot more about the data at this point.
We do, yeah.
Do you think that has relieved people? Because some people are still scared.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for everyone. I'm just going to say, I don't know what the number is, but from what I see, most people are back out doing things.
No question.
Right? So people want to live. So do you think people are as scared as they were 3-4 months ago, or do you think that's kind of...
I think it's starting to... I think we see all types. I still every day I see someone who's come to our office that hasn't left their house. It's amazing. The first place they're coming is to get their dental cleaning.
I believe that.
It's amazing, and we're just humbled by it. We're like, wow, that's great. They haven't even gone out to get groceries. They've had people either drop it off or. But you can't do teledentistry. It only goes so far. You have to come in to get your teeth cleaned. You can't do it any other way. So they come in.
Crush is only taking you so far.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's.
So here's a question for you. You're here today in the den, right? And we have bands on, right? Do you like the idea of the bands?
Love it.
Right? So,
Love it.
We implemented a system here because there are people, right, that don't feel as I do, where I had COVID. So, like most people know that I had it.
Yeah.
My wife had it. My one son had it. All fine. So, we're very fortunate.
Thank goodness.
No doubt, right? So, but, so my employees, you'll see, have red bands. And that means people don't go near them,
Yep.
Then some people have the yellow bands. Hey, we'll give a little bump, And then some people have a red band. And then as a doctor, I'd be wearing a red band too because that's and I say this to people all the time, nobody should be looking at you in a negative way for saying they're red. We had so much responsibility to all these patients. My mom could be sitting in your chair or my sister, and I pray to God you're wearing that red band. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's not about me. I'm saying from dead serious.
Nothing to do with
it could be my mom or sister. I know I'm healthy.
That's right.
It's right. So
That's
I
right.
appreciate that.
No.
I noticed that. And you probably
Thanks.
didn't pick. I was like, no, that's pretty cool.
No, yeah.
Because you're a young guy. You're not going to be.
Yeah, it's not about who I'm with at the moment. It's just about protecting work and protecting the people I work with. Again, my work family is protecting them. My family, is young. Thank goodness it's not. Thank goodness this thing that has reared its head so emphatically on everybody hasn't been something that, by and large, has passed over young people. Thank goodness it seems that it has infected youngsters. But it's not my day-to-day worry. My day-to-day worry is just worrying about the people who come in my office. That's important.
I know, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm around a lot of different people. I'm around other doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they be dentists or chiropractors or it doesn't matter what it is.
Sure.
And they're hugging and they're whole
Yeah.
And I see you and I'm like, all right, this guy, he cares. This isn't a show. Nobody would know. I mean, it is a show that you're on, but nobody would know what that red band is or The screen no has no closed. It's the first time we even announced it, and we've had this going on for a while.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
well, they'll be looking for it now, maybe. Yeah, but yeah, that's exactly right.
Because I know you're not a paranoid guy. I've talked to you enough. You're pretty. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But I'm not going to put other people in jeopardy. I think is probably where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know, as we talk about this, you know, your practice. Not to switch gears. When I met you,
Sorry.
You have a different model. I've dealt with several different dental offices around the country, as you know, right? Yeah. And normally when you meet a dental office, all they want is cosmetic work. Right, high-end tickets, right? They want the cosmetic work. They want the oral surgery work.
Yeah.
When I met you, when you talk about family, I was like, well, these guys are just all good people. You were talking about kids nonstop, and you truly believe if you get them as a child and you take care of them, you feel good, they're going to stay with you as an adult, which is 50% of your practice. Pediatric wasn't 50% of your practice when I met you. I think it was in the 30%, correct? Somewhere around there?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it goes up and down a little bit here and there, but yeah, if we can grow that part
50% now?
Yeah, we can grow that part. It's important.
So it's important. So can you kind of explain to me why? Because most people in your practice area should probably listen to this and listen up if you're in a dental office because it's brilliant. Instead of thinking about today, think long term.
Yeah. We're going to provide every service that you could imagine for a patient who starts at 2 years old, and as they get older, they may need braces. 12, 13 years old, yes, we're going to provide that service as well, all under one roof, again by specialists. And so there really should be no reason for you to go anywhere else. Like I said, our front desk and our insurance department will be able to handle that part for you, so there's a little less stress when it comes to that. And then, if you have to get wisdom teeth taken out, the oral surgeon takes care of that. As you grow into an adult, if you're 18, 21 years old, you're not going to be seen by the pediatric dentist anymore. You can be seen by the adult dentist. So there really should be no reason for you to, aside from maybe moving locations, if you actually move somewhere. But we have patients all the time. They go off to college and they come back and then they come right back to our practice. We're now, I think, on our third generation of seeing patients who came in the 70s, 80s, and they had kids who came in 80s and 90s, and then now they have kids and their kids are coming here. So all the time, we're on our third generation of patients. It's amazing.
So just think about that. As you guys keep growing, a one-stop shop, when I met you pretty much believe in that.
Yep.
Why do you think so many of your peers don't have that?
I think it's hard to run. It's hard to do well, and we've been doing it well for such a long time. It's hard to get the specialist to buy in, figuratively, to buy into that model, to say, there's usually a lot of egos in the room, frankly, is what it comes down to. They want to have they want to make their own decisions, have their own shop, they can't play nice in the sandbox, whatever it is. And that dentists are nice people. They're good people. Almost all of them. Almost all of them are honorable.
No doubt.
But
I'll buy that.
But when you put someone in a business, that's not what they want. That's not necessarily what they want to do. And it takes effort. It takes a lot of elbow grease to be able, by the dentist, to be able to help run something like that. But for everybody as a team to buy into it, it's hard. So I think that's why you don't see it that often.
But you guys said, where did the monkey ideal come from?
The monkey idea. The monkey idea came from the original owner of the practice, who helped bring the monkeys into the practice as part of a rescue mission of sorts. Originally, it definitely has morphed into that for sure. Originally, I'm sure he wanted it as something to use as part of, to make his practice notable, but it's something that we've taken, an initiative to help, that sort of conservation community, so to speak. These are the monkeys in our practice. They're actual monkeys. Have been around for a long time, and they can't go anywhere else. If they go anywhere else, they're going to pass away.
I know, but think about how smart he was.
Yeah.
Listen, I know there's conflict about should they have monkeys in their dentist's office. People are saying they should be out in the wild. Well, go to the zoos. These animals would die also. You have to save some things sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And
without us having these monkeys in the office, these monkeys would have died a long time ago.
So
and a lot of resources are pushed towards them. They're part of our family.
I know it is.
Yeah.
But when I was at your office a few times now, it's almost like de-stressing for the kids before they go back. Because every kid hates the dentist. I mean, I hate the dentist. I'm 47 years old and I hate the dentist. Yeah. I do. No offense. I mean, I told you that when I met you. Like,
yeah, none taken.
I got to take a volume before I go.
Yeah.
I mean, It's always the biggest ones that go down the hardest, they say, right?
Sure. Right. Yeah.
But it's almost like a de-stressor, fun, get their mind off of something. And
we see that a lot. It's been a real benefit to in that sense, so that these kids can be de-stressed. I mean, we have other ways of de-stressing kids. Of course, we can disarm with our personality, but it's a lot easier when they're already de-stressed, which is what you see.
No doubt.
Which is just a side, benefit, really.
But you've also gotten some heat too, right?
Of course. And it's something that all the partners have been sort of born into, as it were, when you come into the practice, because they've been there for such a long time. It's not like they've been kind of turned over, as it were. So
you mentioned something interesting to me. You said dentists have egos, my way, this and that. That's almost every entrepreneur, I truly believe you can't be an entrepreneur and not have some type of an ego, right? I mean, or some type of voice.
So there's the ego of everybody, one recognition of oneself, right? But then there's the expansive ego of when it gets in other people's way, essentially, and when you're not able to pull together a team, that's the problem. That's a problem. If you make it about yourself in front of other people, the team, that's the kind of thing that we're not about.
Six dentists, 6 entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
How do you guys work that out?
Yeah. It takes effort. It takes meetings. It takes time. But if you can if you all can buy in, like I said, figuratively, and if you all can abide by that feeling of family and understanding of this was someone's precious baby at one point, and now it gets to be your precious baby too, and it's our livelihood. It's in the sense that it's something that we're providing for ourselves, but also it's our livelihood in the sense that it's why we wake up every day. It's why we're happy to wake up every day and come to work. If that is something that you can do every day, you can go in and say, I'm happy to be doing this. I'm providing a service to someone that they're walking out of the office and they're saying, I'm glad I just got my braces off and it looks awesome. Doesn't beat that feeling. You can't beat that feeling. So start there. Buy into that.
How old are you, Matt? Doctor?
38.
38. You're young. You're loved at Hamilton Dental. I've been in meetings with you. They love you. Your peers love you.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's next for Hamilton Dental?
Yeah, we're going to continue to. We're looking to continue to. I would say grow, absolutely, and continue to try to provide the best possible care for everybody that comes through our office. Again, that's the reason why we wake up. That's why I spent 12 years in school, to learn how to do what I'm doing. It was worth that time. So for now, it's going to be to try to make the practice as best as it possibly can be and continue to grow it.
What's the hardest challenge you've had in business so far?
This COVID has been pretty much up there.
Besides that, COVID's the obvious at this point.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah,
it should be.
A bit of a
anyway.
softball. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It should be. Yeah. The biggest challenge is definitely is being able to manage our 6 partners. We can manage with each other. I think it's more of just trying to manage the office on a whole and trying to make that function correctly. You mentioned before, why aren't other people doing it? Other people are trying to do it. They can't do it quite as well. All the specialists are basically full time, and you don't see that almost anywhere. We have oral surgeon 4 or 5 days a week. We have orthodontist 5 days a week, pediatric dentist 5 days a week, adult dentist 5 days. Go down the line. We're all there full time, making that work while providing good care, quality dentistry care, while also managing people's participation in insurances, because that's always in flux and that's always changing. That balance. Managing all that's the real challenge, and that's a daily challenge. So I wouldn't even say that's something that's grown. I think it's just something that's there, and we deal with it.
How do you stay up on cutting edge technology?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's also something that you have to. That's getting harder and harder to stay up on, but we definitely do. 3D radiographs is needed, scanning their teeth. I don't think teledentistry, I mentioned before, it's not quite there yet, but I think it's going to be getting there for certain services. I don't think you're going to be able to get your teeth cleaned while at home.
No.
But I do think for orthodontics there may be space for it. How do you stay up on it? You check out what the cutting edge thing is through either like a continuing ed class, and you sort of keep your ear to the close to the ground, and invest time in study clubs and what your peers are doing. And then my honest opinion is you wait 2 or 3 years and wait to see what shakes out, because a lot of that stuff is flash in the pan, and maybe it doesn't work out quite as well. We're not interested in that. We're interested in what works. and then you implement it slowly in your practice. So yeah, we're definitely on that. I don't know if you've heard of CAD/CAM technology.
Absolutely.
So they mill crowns in-house. We have that machine. That was something that we waited a little bit to invest in, and we did. We're happy we did. And yeah, I think that's just to take it slowly. Take it slowly. Don't rush into any one thing in particular, but make sure it works.
You weren't a big digital marketing firm. You weren't a big digital marketing practice prior to meeting me. What would be the biggest takeaway you took from digital marketing? Your biggest aha?
Yeah, it's that patients will listen to you as much online as they will in person. If you think you're going to be able to win someone new to your office just by virtue of being a good person, you might if they happen to walk into your office. But to get them in your office, you're going to need some type of, like I said, megaphone, some type of platform by which you can actually let them know that who you are, who you are, an extension of who you are. Provide an impression for them that they feel comfortable coming into your office.
Do you pay more attention to the metrics now than you did 2 years ago?
Yeah, I do, because they're there and they're provided in terms of the clarity is there. So I'm still learning, of course. It's not my wheelhouse, of course, but we're still, and we can make changes on the fly as needed. And they don't have to be changes to the quality care that we provide. They don't have to be changes to our family and our practice. Those are things that we can change in-house. But if you're talking about trying to provide what that aura is, what that feeling is for someone who hasn't been in your practice, you got to pay attention to it, because then you got to know who you're reaching.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. On the final roar, you're young, you're successful. What would you say to, because a lot of people haven't gotten their teeth cleaned in the last 6-7 months. Yeah. Just people I'm watching, I mean, as you know, I'm not here to talk politics, but I do watch the news. I keep up. Sure. People aren't being treated for cancer as much. Dentistry, I think, and your routine teeth cleaning is at an all-time low, they're saying right now, for the majority of people, right?
Absolutely.
So
yeah, it's not every year you see it drop off 50, 30, 40, 50%, depending on the area you're in.
People are scared.
Yeah.
People are scared. Can you tell people why it's so important? Because maintaining your health before it goes bad is a lot easier before it goes bad. I don't think most people understand that.
Yeah, you Mark Wahlberg, you know that, right? He wakes up every morning and works out at like 3 a.m, and people ask him like, well, why do you still do this? He's like a uber successful actor, right? I mean, the guy almost doesn't have to do anything, even between roles. He may not make a movie for like I don't know how long, but he works out every day. Why? Because staying in shape is a lot easier than getting in shape.
Absolutely.
And no truer words are spoken, right? So staying healthy is a lot easier than getting behind the 8 ball and getting healthy. And we strongly believe that's why you go to the dentist twice a year. You go to the dentist because your dentistry is an essential part of your medical care. Just because you can't quite see it quite well doesn't mean it's not there. You have to clean your teeth, and you have to make sure that you're doing it properly, and you have to be screened for periodontal gum problems, but also cavities. And it's not just about getting that, I was meant to get that veneer because it would look nice. No, you just get your screening done, make sure your routine care is being taken care of, and from there you can have a good foundation to do the things that you want to do. It's really, really important. It's sad to read. You're right. I've been following the headlines also. It's been tough.
Yeah, cares down
big time.
Because some people are truly scared still.
They are, and I understand it, but you get pretty scared pretty quickly when you get a bad result in one of those scans too. So and the earlier you catch something, the better. And that goes systemically with everything. I mean, scan for cancer, etc. The earlier you catch it, the better. And that goes for dentistry. The earlier you catch a cavity, the way easier it is to take care of. The earlier you catch these issues.
Well, doctor, thank you so much for being on the Den. Everyone, the one thing I'll tell you is go check out their office if you're local to them. You're going to find pretty cool doctors, all nice, which is unusual. No egos, just very down-to-earth people. Check out the monkeys and get to know these guys. It was very nice. Thank you so much for being on the Den, doctor.
Thanks for having me here. This was awesome. It's great.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to follow me at Lance Bachmann on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Facebook at Lance Bachmann Digital. And every Thursday we drop a new podcast. Don't forget to listen to it. We're giving out great content. And remember this is the time to build your business right now. Let's effing go, everybody.